Hey everyone, and welcome. We're about to dive deep into the massive changes happening in how pretty much everything gets from point A to point B. We're going to break down the digital supply chain transformation, and we'll be using a fantastic guide from our friends at ASCM Houston as our map.
All right, let's just jump right in. We've all seen this, right? A package on a conveyor belt, heading somewhere. But what if I told you that the invisible web of technology behind this one simple box is going through a revolution that's going to change how you buy, sell, and live?
So first things first, we keep hearing this term, a smarter supply chain. It's a big phrase, but what does it actually mean? Let's break it down.
At its core, it's really all about taking things like artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things and weaving them into the old-school way of doing things. The goal? To give the whole system this massive intelligence upgrade. We're talking about moving from these slow, separate steps to one single smart network that can think and act in real time.
Now, what's so great about this slide is it really shows the night and day difference. The old way, it was kind of like a game of telephone. Information got passed along slowly, and, it often got messed up along the way. The new digital way, it's like a real-time group chat where everyone, from the factory floor to the delivery driver, has the right info right when they need it. Instantly.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing for big corporations, right? But why should you care? What are the big payoffs for the rest of us? Let's dig into why this transformation really matters.
So our source from ASCM Houston breaks it down into these 4 huge advantages. We're talking about being able to see every single step of the process, making things cheaper and faster, being ready for the unexpected, and at the end of the day, making the customer, that's you, a whole lot happier.
But let's translate this, right? Let's take it out of the boardroom and bring it into your living room. What does this smarter supply chain actually look like when it shows up at your doorstep? Well, for starters, it means getting your stuff faster. It means seeing a lot fewer of those out-of-stock messages we all hate. And when something big happens, like a hurricane brewing, the system is smart enough to adapt and get essentials where they need to go. And maybe most importantly, it means you can have way more confidence that the medicine you're taking or the food you're eating is the real deal.
All right, now for my favorite part, the tech. Let's pull back the curtain and take a look inside the toolbox that's making all of this incredible change happen. And trust me, this is some seriously cool stuff.
And like it says here, we're not just throwing buzzwords around. These technologies are the actual engines powering this whole revolution. So let's meet the first one.
First up, you've got predictive analytics. Think of this as the supply chain's crystal ball. By crunching tons of data, companies can actually predict a surge in demand, like for the newest phone or for barbecue supplies before a holiday weekend, and make sure it's on the shelf right when you want it.
Then there's blockchain. And look, forget all the crypto stuff for a second. In the supply chain world, it's used to create this super secure, unchangeable digital receipt for every single step a product takes. Why does that matter? Well, for things like life-saving pharmaceuticals or high-end electronics, it's a game changer for proving they're authentic and not fakes.
And this is just brilliant. The concept of a digital twin. Imagine building a perfect virtual copy of your entire supply network in a computer. You can test out a new warehouse design or simulate what would happen if a major port shut down, all without risking a single real-world dollar. It's basically a video game for logistics, and it's incredibly powerful.
And the team roster is deep. We're talking about Internet of Things or IoT sensors, these tiny little devices on shelves that can automatically reorder stock when it gets low, throw in some self-driving trucks and delivery drones, connect it all with powerful cloud platforms, and you get a system that's just, well, it's got a major intelligence boost.
But this isn't just about speed and money. This whole digital shift has a really powerful, positive side effect. It's making our supply chains way more ethical and a lot more sustainable.
So here's the key takeaway from this quote. With this new level of transparency, companies can finally track their true environmental and ethical footprint. But maybe even more importantly, it lets us, the consumers, hold them accountable and make much smarter choices about who we buy from.
So, where is this all going? Let's look over the horizon for a minute, because believe me, this evolution is far from over. What we've seen so far, that's just the beginning.
Welcome to the next frontier, what's being called the cognitive supply chain. Now, these are systems that don't just follow orders. No, they learn, they adapt, and they actually start making decisions all on their own. In other words, they think.
Just try to picture this. A global supply chain that sees a hurricane forming and automatically reroutes shipments to avoid it. Or one that notices a product is suddenly going viral on social media and ramps up production instantly, all without a single person needing to lift a finger or click a button.
We're talking about a global network that's truly alive and intelligent.
And that leaves us with this final, massive question to chew on. In a world where the very network that delivers everything we buy, use, and need can actually think for itself, what will our world even look like? It's definitely something to think about as this incredible technology continues to reshape, well, everything.